Hey, this is Matt Criscuolo coming to you up close and personal, and I'm going to be doing another reaction video to James Brown, the master of funk. And yes, he was the master of funk. Great performer. I just did a reaction to one of his songs called Get Up, Get On Up. And now I'm going to be doing another one. I don't know the name of this, but I'm going to put it in the title, so no need to worry. But this was David Letterman back in the 80s, probably 82, 83, something like that. Now, I was watching him in high school mostly. And then the next following day when I went to class, we would talk with friends and say, well, did you see David Letterman last night? And he had some great performers on. I mean, he had really a lot of great performers on. I don't know about today, nowadays, if they do that same, kind of thing. But, they had a lot of instrumentalists like David Sanborn and stuff like that. Anyway, let's get right to this. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like, comment, and all that doohitty stooty bidooby stuff. You know what I mean. Anyway, let's get right to it, shall we?
Ladies and gentlemen, here once again, singing There Was a Time, the Godfather of Soul, the
There
hardest
was a
working
time.
man in show business, James Brown.
Look at him. Look at him. Come on. Look at him. There was a day. There was a time. There was a time. I used to dance. There was a time. I used to bring. But think of now. Don't worry about it later. Everybody, I think the dance you do. They call them mathematicians.
That little shuffle that he does, and boy, that drumming, you hear that crack of that snare. Of course, it would have been nice to be there live to actually feel the impact and percussiveness of that, I mean, it's nasty, it's funky, it's stanky, it's got all sorts of stank up on it, right? You know what I mean? Eesh.
Everybody follow me. The groove is here, say it. The groove is here. Come on. The groove is here, say it. The groove is here, say it. Say it. The groove is here, say it. Say it really loud. Come on. The groove is here. The groove is here. Let me hear it now. Goes on good. There was a time. There was a day.
Well, right there, I would have liked to have heard the audience, or at least the band, like the horn players, still keep singing that little background riff, whatever he said, the groove is here. Whatever he was saying, I would have liked that. I thought that would have been nice. But I'm not, nitpicking. I'm just saying, the groove is here. I would like to have heard them.
Come on, the groove is here. The groove is here. Let me hear it now. Goes on good. There was a time. There was a day. Let me hear it. They call it
The groove is here.
relax. Everybody and watch me work now. Back in my town, where I used to stay.
What I like to do when I am aware of it, I like to hone in on just one instrument at a time and just kind of direct my attention to one instrument at a time, because I find that that's, interesting for me anyway. Almost like I'm not a wine connoisseur, but I would imagine that it's similar to that, in that when someone understands the dynamics of wine, that they could say, oh, I like the this and the that and the bouquet, and they pay attention to different things, and it just adds to the experience. Not that you have to do that. In fact, for some people, maybe it even takes away from the experience. For others, it probably can enhance it. Maybe it's a personal thing. But in this case, I'm listening a little to the guitarist, and the drummer doing his thing, and the bass. And they're just kind of laying down a groove. Now, each one of those little components, are somewhat understated. But when you put them together, then it creates this picture, and it's just as funky as,
The name of the place, Charleston, Bomb, Augusta, GA. Now they have a good time. Real tough. Here, you know we hold each other at any time, brother. And when we do what? Say it again, what? Say it again. Say it again.
wow. Check out that audience. Did you see that? That was so 80s. Oh, man. Even a little leftover 70s there. I used to date a dancer. Sorry for all the stopping, but I thought that you might find, some of this stuff interesting. After all, that's what this reaction channel is about, right? But I used to date a dancer. She was studied. And she told me that if you keep your body still, but you just move one part, and it's in rhythm, that it has an effect. It's like a minimalistic approach, but that movement, it becomes so much more enhanced and bold because of because everything else is. I guess you could almost liken it to, like, if you've seen those photographs which are black and white, and then they just take one object and they make it red or blue, and it just seems to pop out. And of course, it's a simple artistic principle and concept, but I see him doing that. It's like he's leaving his certain parts of his body, maybe his upper body is kind of stationary, and then he's just doing the bottom part, and it's like funky.
Everybody come on. Say, hey, hey, I feel all right. Now, listen to me now. Hey, hey, I feel all right. Do it one time, okay? Everybody say, together. Hey, hey, I feel all right. One time. Wait a minute. Look at here. Let's try 2 times. When I say 2 times, you say, Now raise this right hand, I say, hey, hey, I feel all right. Or you say, You ready? You ready over there? Got a lot of groove over there. Are you ready right here? You made a little weak there. You ready right there? Shut them out over here. All right. Get here. Everybody right here. Everybody way back there. Everybody there. 2 times. Hey, hey, I feel all right. 2 times. Look at him. Joe and Funky. Say, let's give the band another big round of applause. Give me here for the band.
What a class act, man. I dig him. Of course, if you were one of his wives, maybe you might maybe have a different opinion. But you know what, man? I don't really judge the artists too much on their own personal lives. Do you really want to know what, if you're reading Hemingway, do you really want to, does it matter what he did to himself at the end of his life? You know what I mean? It's like it's a debate. Maybe everybody's got a different opinion on that, but of course it's interesting, don't get me wrong. And sometimes it's you want to rubberneck and check it out. But the guy had some trouble with his personal life with women, but you know what? Hey, it's not easy to coexist with a partner sometimes, and you gotta, at least for me, it wasn't. I had to learn a lot. I'm getting better at it, but I never beat anybody up or anything like that.
Y'all go to the JV.
Woo! Oh, that's Hiram Bullock. That looks like Hiram Bullock right there, man. He died early, but that looks like Hiram Bullock playing a Fender. And boy, man, he could play his hiney off, man. Woo! That was fun. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. There was a time. There was a time. 1982. Woo! Wow! Damn. Man, I'll tell you. Would you like to go back to 1982, 1983? Sometimes I feel like I'd like to go back, but I'd like to go, obviously, with the knowledge and the wisdom that I have now. But that's the old adage, right? Everybody wants to do that, you know. But that was a good time. That was fun. I remember working in my father's pizzeria a lot, you know, just to get some extra change in my pocket. Of course, I didn't have too much of a choice either. Dad wanted me to work, but I'm glad he did. Yeah, I mean, I was probably in, I graduated high school in 1989, so in 1982, 83, I was certainly not in high school. I was probably in middle school or something like that. Yeah, but yeah, that was fun. That was fun. James Brown, boy. Hey, listen, I hope you enjoyed that. It's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice. But it's more important. It's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice. And you take it easy. And if it's real easy, take it twice.